Are you tired of ending each day feeling stuck in the same place? You wake up with dreams, but go to bed with the same problems. This cycle repeats until you start losing hope. You tell yourself that tomorrow will be different. But tomorrow always looks like today. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and nothing seems to change for the better. The truth is, you are not lazy, and you are not broken. You are only missing one simple key that successful people have quietly used for generations. That key is the power of one focused hour each day. Not 5 hours, not 10 hours, just one hour of deep. Intentional growth can transform everything. Most people believe success requires huge effort, perfect timing, or special talent. That belief is false. Real progress begins with small, consistent action repeated every day. 1 hour equals just 4% of your day. Think about that. You probably spend more than that scrolling online or waiting in traffic without noticing the time disappear. Yet this single hour, if used correctly, has more impact than the other 23 hours combined, because it represents your choice to invest in your own future. Imagine the difference if you gave yourself this time each day. Imagine who you could become, the skills you could master, and the life you could build step by step. Welcome to Mind Fluent English, where small changes create big results. This is the place to train both your English and your mindset for lasting success. Today, you will discover why one daily hour matters so much. You will see how this single habit can separate dreamers from doers and turn goals into reality. Let me begin with a hard truth. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they waste time. They treat their hours like they have no value. They spend endless minutes checking messages, watching meaningless videos, or complaining about problems, but they never spend a single focused hour working on real solutions. Time is like money, but even more precious. You can always earn back lost money, but you can never recover lost hours. Once gone, they are gone forever. 1 hour might feel small, but when multiplied across a year, it becomes massive. 365 hours equal weeks of focused training toward your highest goals. Think about it. 1 hour of reading each day becomes over 300 hours in a year. That is equal to completing dozens of books and lessons for your growth. 1 hour of practicing a skill each day will make you better than 95% of people in that area within just 2 years of steady practice. The math is simple, but the impact is life-changing. Small actions, repeated consistently, compound into extraordinary results. That is the real hidden secret of success. Look at the people you admire. What do they share in common? They build progress 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one deliberate choice at a time. They do not wait for perfect conditions. They do not hope for miracles. They create progress through consistent daily action. And you can do exactly the same. Success is not a sudden event. It is the slow accumulation of daily hours spent wisely. Each hour you claim for growth is a brick in the foundation of your future. The problem is not that you lack time. Everyone has the same 24 hours. The real problem is that most people do not know how to use them. Your hour is not just about the clock. It represents your commitment to yourself. It shows that you believe in your potential enough to invest energy each day. Every time you protect this hour, you tell yourself that your dreams matter. Every time you waste it, you allow circumstances and distractions to control your life. Think about the first hour after you wake up. Science shows your mind is most clear, focused, and capable during this time. your willpower is at its highest. Yet what do most people do? They reach for their phone, read the news, scroll social media, and fill their minds with noise, negativity, and other people's priorities. By the time they are ready to start the day, their energy is already scattered, their focus is stolen, their mood is shaped by things that do not serve their goals. Successful people act differently. They protect their first hour like treasure. They use it to plan, to learn, to practice, and to strengthen their mindset before the world intrudes. This is why 1 hour matters so much. It is not just another block of time. It is the foundation on which the rest of your day and life is built. Stop underestimating the value of small daily actions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start with 1 hour today. This is the awakening, the first step toward mastery. The first hour of your day is the most valuable. It sets the tone for everything that follows. Yet most people give this golden time away without a second thought. They wake up and instantly reach for their phone. Within minutes, their mind is filled with messages, updates, and problems that belong to someone else. This is a huge mistake. You are letting other people's priorities control your first hour. You are starting the day reactive instead of proactive, scattered instead of focused. Science proves your brain is sharpest in the morning. Memory, focus, and willpower are at their peak. This is the perfect time to invest in yourself. But when you waste it on social media or news, you trade your golden hour for noise, you exchange clarity for distraction, and momentum for negativity. Think about how often you check your phone in the morning. Do you feel inspired afterward? Or do you feel anxious, rushed, and already behind? Your golden hour is not for the world. It is for you. It is your chance to program your mind, strengthen your body, and prepare your spirit for the day ahead. Successful people treat this time like treasure. They read something uplifting. They plan their priorities. They meditate, exercise, or write in a journal. They know the world will demand their attention soon enough. That is why they claim their first hour for growth, before anyone else can take it. This is not about being selfish. It is about being wise. When you strengthen yourself first, you become more capable of serving others throughout the day. Imagine 2 mornings. In the first, you wake up, scroll, react, and rush. In the second, you wake up, breathe, plan, learn, and move. Which day feels better? The difference is dramatic. In one version, you chase the world. In the other, you lead yourself. That choice begins the moment your alarm clock rings. Claiming your golden hour requires intention. You must decide in advance what matters most, and design a simple routine that nourishes your mind and body. Start small. 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of writing, 10 minutes of exercise. Build from there. The key is consistency, not perfection. If you try to do too much, you will burn out quickly. But if you build slowly, habit by habit, your golden hour will soon become the strongest part of your day. Think of your morning like planting seeds. The first hour is when the soil is most fertile. Whatever you plant then will grow throughout the rest of the day. Plant distraction, and you harvest chaos. Plant clarity, and you harvest progress. Plant gratitude, and you harvest joy. The harvest depends on the seeds you choose. Your golden hour is a mirror of your future. If you fill it with growth, your life will expand. If you waste it, your future will shrink in the same way. This is why so many successful people share morning routines. They may be different in detail, but they all follow the same principle. Protect the first hour. Even if you are not a morning person, you can still claim an hour that feels like gold. It might be after work, before bed, or during lunch. The principle stays the same. The point is not when the hour happens, but how you use it. An intentional protected hour is powerful, no matter where it fits in your day. If mornings are possible, choose them. Your energy and focus are highest. But if mornings are impossible, choose another time. Just make it sacred and untouchable. Treat this hour as a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. Write it in your schedule. Defend it from interruptions. Respect it as you would a meeting with your boss. Because in truth, it is a meeting with someone even more important. It is a meeting with your future self, the person you are becoming each day. Every time you show up, you send a message to that future self. You tell them, I care about you. I am building you. I will not let you down. The world will always try to steal this hour. Emails will come. Notifications will buzz. People will ask for your time. You must be strong enough to say no. This hour is not free time. It is growth time. It is not flexible. It is sacred. Guard it with the same seriousness you would guard your most valuable treasure. The best way to protect your golden hour is to prepare the night before. Set out your book, your journal, or your workout clothes. Remove excuses before they appear. When you wake up and everything is ready, the barrier to action is low. You simply step into the habit, no debate, no delay. Preparation creates discipline. The second secret is environment. Choose a place that feels quiet, focused, and free from distraction. Even a small corner can become your growth zone. The third secret is identity. See yourself as someone who values this hour. Tell yourself, I am the type of person who invests the first part of my day in growth. When you believe it, your actions follow. Habits stick best when they match your identity. Claim the identity, and you claim the discipline that comes with it. Your golden hour is the foundation for the rest of this system. Without it, the other steps become shaky. With it, everything becomes stronger and easier. So here is your challenge. Decide right now when your golden hour will be. Prepare for it tonight. Protect it tomorrow. And repeat until it becomes natural. Once you claim your golden hour, you will begin to feel the difference. You will sense clarity, confidence, and direction that carries you throughout the day. This is the true power of claiming your first hour. It is not just about mornings. It is about taking ownership of your life. The clock no longer controls you. You control the clock. You control your focus. You control your growth. And with that control, you open the door to extraordinary progress, 1 hour at a time. Focus is the entry point to all growth. Without focus, there is no memory, no progress, no success. Focus is the doorway your mind must walk through before learning begins. Most people believe their memory is weak, but the real problem is lack of focus. You cannot remember what you never truly noticed in the first place. Think of attention as the gatekeeper of memory. If the gate is closed, nothing enters. If it is wide open, knowledge flows in and stays. Distraction is the enemy of focus. Every notification, every noise, every pop-up steals a piece of your attention until nothing meaningful is left for your goals. Have you ever read a page only to realize your eyes moved across the words, but your mind was elsewhere? That is distraction pretending to be learning. Great learners do not try to multitask. They know the brain cannot handle two demanding tasks at once. True power comes from single-minded concentration. Multitasking makes you busy but not productive. You do many things poorly instead of one thing with excellence. Focus turns effort into achievement. Imagine a magnifying glass under the sun. Scattered light warms, but focused light burns. Your attention works the same way. Scattered is weak. Focused is powerful. This is why protecting your focus is vital. You cannot wait for perfect silence. You must create conditions that support deep concentration every single day. Step 1 is environment. Choose a space that signals your brain it is time for growth. A clean desk, a quiet room, even a single corner can be enough. Step 2 is removing distractions. Put your phone away, close extra tabs, silence notifications. Every small barrier removed gives your focus more strength. Step 3 is intention. Decide clearly what you will work on before you begin. Specific goals direct your focus like a compass points north. When you sit down and say, "I will study for 30 minutes," your mind knows where to aim. Without intention, your focus wanders and your time is wasted. Step 4 is timing. Work in focused blocks, then rest. The brain was not built for endless hours of effort. Short, deep sessions are more effective. Try the 25-minute focus with 5 minutes of rest, or longer cycles if they suit you. The key is quality of attention, not length of time. Your focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it feels difficult, but with practice, you can focus for longer periods. Each time you bring your wandering mind back, you are training it. Do not feel discouraged by distraction. See it as part of the exercise. Over time, your ability to stay with a task improves. What once felt impossible becomes natural. Focus grows through use, just like strength in the gym. Another secret is to align focus with energy. Notice when you feel most alert during the day. Place your most important work in that window. Do not waste your sharpest hours on low-value tasks. Save them for the actions that matter most to your goals and your personal growth. Your focus also depends on your body. Poor sleep, junk food, and no movement weaken attention. Rest, nutrition, and exercise make your mind sharper. Think of your lifestyle as the soil, and your focus as the plant. If the soil is weak, the plant will never grow strong no matter how hard you try. Focus also improves with mindfulness. Simple breathing exercises calm your racing mind. Even 2 minutes of stillness before work can create space for deeper focus. Successful people use rituals to signal focus time. It might be a cup of tea, a certain playlist, or writing one sentence. Small cues prepare the mind. Another tip is to keep a distraction list. When stray thoughts appear, write them down instead of acting on them. This frees your brain to stay on task. Clarity multiplies focus. When you know exactly why something matters, your attention follows naturally. Purpose is the fuel that keeps focus alive when energy drops. Think about the last time you were deeply engaged in something you loved. Hours felt like minutes. That is focus at its highest level, also called flow. Flow happens when challenge meets skill at just the right level, not too easy, not too hard. Aim for tasks that stretch you slightly beyond your comfort zone. Do not expect perfect focus every day. Some days will feel sharp, others cloudy. What matters is showing up and practicing the discipline of attention. When you protect and train your focus, Everything else becomes easier. Learning is faster, memory is stronger, progress is quicker, success feels within reach. Focus is the gateway. Without it, no technique works. With it, every hour becomes powerful. Claim your focus, and you claim control over your future. This is the bridge to the next step. Once you master focus, you can use it to learn with purpose. That is where true growth begins. Learning without purpose is like filling a basket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it slips away. Purpose is what makes knowledge stay and grow. Most people treat learning as entertainment. They read random articles, watch videos, and scroll through facts. It feels busy, but it is not building real progress. True learning begins with clarity. You must ask yourself why this knowledge matters. Without a reason, your brain has no anchor. With a reason, it locks in. Before you start any study, stop and ask 4 questions. What am I learning? Why does it matter? How will I use it? When will I apply it? When you answer these questions, you give your mind direction. You turn vague information into a clear goal. Your brain loves clarity and rewards it with memory. Imagine you want to learn English vocabulary. If you just memorize words, most will fade, but if you link them to your career or dreams, they stick. For example, learning the word negotiate feels dry, but if you plan to use it in a meeting, your brain sees importance. Purpose creates energy for memory. This is why successful learners never just consume, they connect. They know exactly how knowledge will serve their life, career, or relationships. That link makes it powerful. Another mistake people make is confusing quantity with quality. They think reading 10 books is better than mastering one. The truth is, depth matters more than speed. It is better to understand one idea fully than to skim through 10 without application. Knowledge without depth is shallow. Knowledge with depth becomes wisdom. Choose your learning materials carefully. Do not waste time on content that does not lead to growth. Seek books, courses, and mentors who align with your goals. Look for people who have already achieved what you want. Study their methods, stories, and lessons. Their experience shortens your path and saves you years of mistakes. Active learning is another secret. Do not just read or listen passively. Take notes, ask questions, and explain what you learn in your own words. Every time you engage actively, you force your brain to process more deeply. This creates stronger memory and sharper understanding that will last longer. Try teaching what you learn. If you can explain an idea to someone else, you truly understand it. Teaching reveals gaps in your knowledge and makes it solid. Purposeful learning also requires reflection. After each session, ask yourself what changed. How can I use this? What did I learn about myself while learning this topic? These small reflections transform learning from consumption into transformation. They remind you that knowledge is not the goal. Growth and action are the real goals. Imagine someone who studies nutrition without purpose. They memorize facts, but never change their eating. Now imagine someone who studies to heal their body. Which one wins? Purpose turns knowledge into power. It turns reading into doing. It makes the difference between being informed and being transformed by what you know. Set specific targets. Do not say, I want to read more. Say, I will read 20 minutes daily to improve my communication because it will grow my career. Your brain loves clear targets. It treats them like missions. Vague wishes fade, but specific commitments endure. Purpose sharpens learning into a blade that cuts through confusion. Write your goals down. Do not keep them in your head. A written goal becomes a contract with yourself. It transforms intention into responsibility. Review your goals often. Let them remind you why you are learning. Motivation fades, but a strong why renews energy. Your why is the fuel for progress. When learning with purpose, also focus on application. Ask yourself each day, how can I use one idea from what I learned today, then apply it immediately? Application turns knowledge into skill. Without it, learning stays in theory. With it, learning becomes part of your identity. Purpose lives in action, not just in thought. Do not overload yourself with too many purposes. Focus on one skill at a time. Master it before moving on. Scatter brings weakness. Concentration builds strength. The greatest learners are not those who know the most, but those who use what they know most effectively. That power comes only through learning with purpose. Each hour you spend learning should be tied to your future vision. When you see how today connects to tomorrow, discipline feels natural, not forced. Purpose makes discipline easier. It makes practice exciting. It makes effort meaningful. Without purpose, even 1 hour feels heavy. With purpose, 1 hour feels light. So choose your why. Write it, live it, repeat it. Let it guide your learning. Every lesson will feel sharper, every effort more rewarding, every step more powerful. Learning with purpose is the fourth pillar of mastery. It connects focus to growth, and it prepares you for the next stage, where knowledge becomes skill through practice. Knowing is not enough. Doing is what makes the difference. 1 hour of practice is more valuable than 10 hours of theory, because practice turns ideas into real skills. Most people stay trapped in knowledge. They read, listen, and study, but never apply. They become experts in words but weak in action. That is why they fail. Knowledge without practice is like owning tools but never building. The tools may be impressive, but they change nothing until you use them to create. Practice is the bridge between learning and mastery. It transforms understanding into ability and potential into performance. Without practice, growth stops at imagination. Think of learning a language. You can study grammar for years, but until you speak, you will never truly communicate. Practice is where the real progress lives. The same is true for every skill. You cannot learn to swim by reading about water. You must step in, move, fail, and adjust until your body learns. Great learners dedicate part of their golden hour to practice. They balance learning with doing, reading for half the time and practicing for the rest. Active practice is not random repetition. It is deliberate. You focus on a specific skill, push slightly beyond comfort, and measure improvement over time. This is called deliberate practice. It requires attention, feedback, and challenge. Without those, practice becomes motion without progress, effort without growth. Imagine a musician playing the same easy song every day. They feel busy, but they are not improving. Real growth comes from practicing what feels difficult. Deliberate practice feels uncomfortable. That discomfort is a sign of progress. If everything feels easy, you are not stretching. Growth requires a small amount of struggle. Another key is feedback. You must see what works and what does not. Feedback may come from mentors, coaches, or even your own careful reflection. Feedback prevents you from practicing mistakes. Without it, you may repeat the wrong method until it becomes a habit that holds you back. The 80-20 principle applies here. Focus 80% of your practice on the 20% of skills that bring the biggest results in your area. If you are learning writing, spend more time creating stories, not memorizing rules. If you are learning sales, practice closing conversations more than reading theory. Track your practice. Keep a log of what you did, how long you did it, and what improved. This helps you see patterns and sustain motivation over time. Every small improvement adds up. Practice may feel slow in the moment, but months of steady effort compound into visible, lasting transformation. Do not fear mistakes. Mistakes are teachers. Each one shows you where to adjust. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path toward it. The goal of practice is not perfection, it is progress. Each time you practice, you are building the next layer of your ability. Progress creates confidence. Confidence then fuels more practice. This positive cycle repeats until mastery emerges. It always begins with one choice to practice today, not someday. Another powerful tool is teaching. When you explain what you practice to someone else, you clarify your own understanding. Teaching makes learning stick deeply. You can share through writing, videos, or simple conversations. When you teach, you expose gaps in your skill and strengthen your ability at the same time. Consistency matters more than intensity. Practicing a little every day is far more effective than practicing a lot once a month. Regularity builds momentum. Your brain and body adapt to what they do consistently. Daily practice wires new habits into your system. That is why 1 hour each day is so powerful. Protect this practice time as seriously as your learning time. Do not allow distractions to steal it. This is your workshop, your training ground, your growth lab. When practice becomes part of your identity, it feels natural. You stop asking, "Should I practice today?" Instead, you ask, "What will I practice today?" Over time, practice stops being something you force yourself to do. It becomes who you are. You are a person who learns and applies daily. This identity shift is powerful. It removes the struggle of choice. You no longer negotiate with yourself. You simply practice because that is your nature. The reward of practice is not only skill, but also resilience. Each time you show up despite discomfort, you strengthen discipline and trust in yourself. Remember, every expert was once a beginner who practiced. They stumbled, failed, adjusted, and kept going. The only difference is they never stopped showing up. So dedicate at least half of your growth hour to practice. Use the other half for learning. Together, they create balance between knowledge and action. When you combine learning with practice, you accelerate growth. Ideas turn into skills. Skills turn into results. Results turn into opportunities. This is true mastery. Practice with power. Practice with purpose. And prepare for the next step, where reflection and refinement will multiply the results of every hour you invest. Most people rush from one day to the next without ever stopping to reflect. They keep moving but never ask whether they are moving in the right direction. This is a huge mistake. Reflection is what turns experience into wisdom. Without it, you repeat the same errors and miss the chance to grow faster. Think of reflection as the pause between breaths. It gives you space to process, to notice, and to adjust before you take the next powerful step forward. Journaling is one of the simplest tools for reflection. Write down what you practiced, what you learned, and what you discovered about yourself during that hour. Writing forces your brain to slow down. It transforms vague thoughts into clear words. This process strengthens memory and helps you see hidden patterns. Patterns reveal truths. You may notice you learn better in the morning, or that a certain method works best for you. Reflection shines a light on progress. It also highlights mistakes. When you review your actions, you see where you went wrong. Mistakes become lessons instead of repeated failures. That is powerful growth. Celebration is another part of reflection. Too often we ignore small wins, but reflection helps you see how far you have already come, and that builds confidence. Progress is not always obvious day by day. Reflection lets you notice the tiny improvements that compound into big results over time. This keeps motivation alive. But reflection alone is not enough. You must also refine. Refinement is the art of making small adjustments based on what you learned through reflection. Do not try to overhaul everything at once. That leads to chaos. Instead, change one thing at a time, test it, measure it, and keep what works. For example, if you notice you lose focus after 20 minutes, refine by working in shorter sessions. Small tweaks like this can double your effectiveness. Refinement makes your system smarter. It adapts to your unique strengths and weaknesses. Over time, you build a method perfectly designed for your growth. Repeat is the third step. Reflection, refinement, and repetition form a cycle. Each day you learn, reflect, refine, and repeat. This rhythm compounds results. Think of it like polishing a stone. Each pass makes it smoother and sharper. Reflection and refinement are the strokes that shape mastery over time. Weekly reviews are powerful. Spend a few minutes each week looking at what you achieved. Ask what worked, what failed, and what will I do differently next week. Monthly reviews go deeper. Step back and ask, am I still heading toward my vision? Do I need to adjust my strategy or strengthen my habits? Quarterly reviews are bigger still. They help you see the big picture. Reflection at this level can reveal whether your goals still match your true values. Without reviews, you may drift without realizing it. With reviews, you keep steering your ship toward your chosen destination, even when storms appear. Reflection also trains humility. It reminds you that you are always a student. There is always something to learn and always something to improve. This humility protects you from arrogance. It keeps you curious and open. The moment you think you know it all, growth stops. Reflection prevents that trap. Refinement requires courage. You must be willing to admit when something is not working. Pride resists change, but wisdom embraces it and grows stronger. Do not fear adjusting your approach. Even small refinements create exponential gains when repeated over time. Flexibility combined with consistency is the formula for mastery. Remember, the process matters more than any single result. Some days you will feel great. Other days you will struggle. Reflection keeps you steady in both. By repeating the cycle, you transform random activity into systematic progress. You become not just a learner, but a self-corrector, always improving your own path. Reflection also deepens gratitude. When you pause and see your journey, you appreciate not only the results, but also the effort that brought you here. Gratitude strengthens motivation. It reminds you that growth is not only about arriving, but also about enjoying the steps along the way. The cycle of reflect, refine, and repeat will serve you for life. It is not just for learning skills, it applies to health, work, and relationships too. Whatever you choose to master, this cycle will keep you improving. Without it, you plateau. With it, you keep climbing to higher levels year after year. So build this habit into your daily hour. Take a few minutes to reflect, adjust, and commit to the next round. This habit multiplies the power of practice. Reflect to see clearly. Refine to act wisely. Repeat to grow consistently. This is the engine of lifelong mastery and the secret to unstoppable improvement. And now you are ready for the final pillar, the one that makes everything else possible. That pillar is discipline, the bridge that carries you to mastery. Discipline is the foundation that holds everything together. Without it, focus fades, practice stops, and reflection is forgotten. Discipline is the bridge to mastery. Motivation feels good, but it is unreliable. Some days you wake up inspired, but other days you feel tired, distracted, or discouraged. Discipline carries you on those days. Think of motivation like weather. It changes often. Discipline is like the sunrise. It appears every day, no matter what. That is why it is more powerful. Discipline means doing what matters even when you do not feel like it. It is showing up for your growth hour when comfort tempts you to stay in bed. Each time you act with discipline, you strengthen your inner muscle, like lifting weights. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Discipline is trainable. Start with small commitments. Drink a glass of water each morning. Write one sentence in your journal. Read one page. These simple acts build self-trust. Self-trust is vital. When you keep promises to yourself, you begin to believe in your own reliability. That belief fuels confidence and future discipline. Remove choice from the moment. Do not ask, "Should I practice today?" Decide once, in advance, that you will. Discipline grows when habits become non-negotiable. Create environments that support discipline. Place your book on the desk. Prepare your clothes for exercise. Make the right choice easier and the wrong choice harder. At first, discipline feels heavy. The first week is the hardest. But if you persist, it becomes lighter. Soon the habit feels natural, even automatic. Do not aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. Missing a day is not failure. Quitting is. True discipline means recovering quickly and returning stronger each time. Remember that discipline spreads. When you strengthen one area, it influences others. Daily practice in learning makes you more disciplined in work, health, and relationships. This creates a chain of success. One disciplined act leads to another. Soon, your entire life begins to shift in the direction of strength and mastery. Discipline also protects your hour. Without it, distractions steal your time. With it, you guard your growth fiercely, treating it as sacred and untouchable. The people around you may not always understand. They may call you strict, selfish, or different. But remember, you are building the future version of yourself. Every time you defend your hour, you tell the world that your dreams matter. That message shapes your identity and earns respect from your future self. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. When you control yourself, you are no longer controlled by impulses, moods, or the noise of the world. True freedom is the ability to direct your own actions, not to be pushed by every feeling or distraction. Discipline gives you that freedom every single day. Look at any champion in sports, art, or business. Behind their talent is years of discipline. They practiced when no one watched. They persisted when others quit. Their secret is not superhuman ability. It is ordinary discipline repeated consistently. That is available to you, right now, with the choices you make today. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait to feel ready. Begin with discipline now. One action today builds the foundation for tomorrow's success. Discipline creates momentum. The more days you show up, the easier it becomes to keep showing up. Momentum is the reward for steady commitment. Each disciplined act is a vote for the person you want to become. The more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes until it defines you fully. Your future self is waiting. They are stronger, wiser, more skilled. They depend on the discipline you practice today. Do not let them down. Discipline is not glamorous. It is often quiet, unseen, and simple. But it is the invisible force that turns effort into excellence and habits into mastery. So choose discipline over comfort. Choose progress over excuses. Choose growth over delay. Every choice matters. Every hour matters. Every disciplined act matters. This is your bridge to mastery. Cross it daily, and you will arrive at a life of power, purpose, and fulfillment built 1 hour at a time. Now is the moment of truth. Will you let another day slip away? Or will you claim your hour with discipline and build the life you truly desire? Thank you for growing with Mind Fluent English. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Share it with someone ready to change. Start your journey today.